ego behind and said, I don't know how to do this, but I can lead in such a way that together we can. You know, and I don't want you to forget that. So often there can be a macho image that I know best, and I have to think I know best, and I have to show that I know best. And that isn't always the way. Whatever we do, remember that love is the greatest power on earth. And with humility and with love, when I am able to look in my sister's face and see her dignity, the dignity and the divine intelligence with her, and can trust that she is a genius. She is a genius because God created her that way. She came into the world with something special, and every one of us came into the world with something special. The sadness is we have forgotten that we are spiritual beings in a human body, and we have forgotten to see the dignity in each other, and we have forgotten the spirituality and the love, unconditional love, which is the greatest power. Let me move on to the, so I set the context about Mother Nature. So I'm going to take the next one, courage. Courage. You know, courage is about the absence of fear. Courage is about the absence of fear. You know, it doesn't mean you don't feel fear, but it means you don't allow it to stop you. And it is so important that you recognize that courage is the first human quality. Courage is the first human quality because it's a quality that actually underpins all others. Those are not my quotes, they're Aristotle. Leadership today is being rewritten. We have seen it here today. You notice the way the women have presented today over the time since we have been here. Most of the presentations that we have had is coming from a rooted, authentic place. We are rewriting leadership. You know, leadership, for me, leadership is about creating the space for everyone to do their best. It is creating the space for you to do your best, drawing on your skills, your competencies, and your expertise. So if you are in a job, so what I found when I was doing that turnaround, there were people in parts of the work, and I said, what is it you are good at? Tell me, what is it that makes your heart sing? Do you feel you're doing the very best work you can do? And because I was so honest with people, and I had been there for a while, they were honest with me. So some people, I shifted them around. You know, we did the job swap because somebody said, I can do that better because that is where my natural ability is. So the important thing is that we need to have the courage to say what is working and what is not working. Courage is so important. Step into courage at all times. So when you're navigating that environment, if leadership is about creating the space for others to do their best, that's my definition. That's what I work with. Because I believe that a leader is there to empower. A leader is there to enable. A leader is there to inspire. And a leader is there to enhance the energy of the people. If you can't enhance the energy of your staff, and even if you're working as a solopreneur, you're going to have to work with other partners. And if you bring the right energy into the partnership, you will achieve a lot more. You and I have seen people who have crashed their projects, who have crashed their dreams because they have taken the wrong energy. Energy is important. And always remember that a person will not always remember what you have said to them, but they will always remember how you make them feel. People will always remember how we make them feel. So, you know, in creating that energy and in creating that space for others to be their best, it is so important that you are aware that your emotional intelligence is, and you've got your hat on with your emotional intelligence. You are aware. You are aware of how others may be thinking and feeling, and you become empathetic. You put your shoe into their moccasin, as it were. So, courage is acting, is sitting in there with the fear, but trusting that with divine intelligence, we will be guided. We will be guided. You don't always have to know. You can actually meditate and ask for guidance. And when you meditate and ask for guidance, you will get it. You may not get it in that immediate moment, but trust that it will come. It will come. You may walk out of wherever you are and you meet somebody who says something to you that gives you the answer. It comes. The divine has many, many different ways of working. But remember that courage and comfort cannot be friends. Courage and comfort cannot be friends. So there are times when in your leadership, in order to go to the next level, as we have heard many times, you have to step out of your comfort zone. Don't ever be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. Trust that you will be guided. Trust that answers will come. Trust that the resources will come. You remember on the first day, we were so eloquently told that remember that oftentimes we hide behind and say that we haven't got the money to do the things, and money should never ever stop you from doing what you want to do, because when you are committed, all manner of chances, resources come into your favor, things that you could never ever dream of. So, leadership and creativity. So that is my third point. I started off the first one with love. I then went on to courage. And my third one is around creativity. And why is creativity so important? We know and we understand that without creativity, things don't work. So take where we are right now. In 2010, global CEOs were discussing leadership, and what they came up with is that creativity needs to be the highest on the agenda. Look at what happened to Microsoft compared with Apple. It's all about creativity. When you see, the policy that Apple developed was that it would have creativity incubators. You know, in our leadership, we are spending so much time strategically planning and sometimes moving from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. However, we are not taking sufficient time out to meditate and to allow the creativity, the right brain, function best when it has the space to free think. You don't get your best creativity ideas when you're busy. That is why, and I will probably make you laugh now, you know, sometimes when you're sitting on the toilet, you get some of the best ideas. It is because you're not concentrating on anything else. You know, give yourself space. The one thing, if you take away nothing from today, I beg you to give yourself time to think. Breathe. Time to breathe. Remember, as we were, Swami Babaji yesterday so beautifully demonstrated to us. Breathe. Inspire. Breath. Prana. Breath. So important. It is through proper breathing and meditation. And meditation is just focusing on your breath. There are other forms, there are many forms of meditation, but if you can just think of meditation as focusing on your breath, and of course when you're more advanced there are mantras that you can use, but if nothing else, just minutes per day is not too much, is it? I promise you that even if you do 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes before you go to bed, it makes a significant difference. Better still if you can do 10 minutes 3 times per day. However, if you are not able to, 5 minutes will help. Creativity, very, very important. And now we come on to intuition. Now, Einstein actually says, and you know, the only valuable thing is intuition. Can you believe it? The only valuable. So I actually say to you, trust your gut. Trust your gut. Intuition plays a very, very important part. You know, sometimes, how many of you here are involved in hiring others? Hiring staff. Hiring staff. Yes. And so, have you ever had the experience where the CV looks good, the interview went well, but something inside of you said it doesn't quite add up? And have you ever then gone against that and made the hiring, and within a short time, it doesn't work out? You were right in the beginning. Trust your intuition. So I now say, as a business psychologist, I often say to the people with whom I work, irrespective of what you may have asked me to do in terms of the psychometrics and all of that, and the in-trace exercise and all of that, if it doesn't feel right, hold on. Trust your gut. I promise you that it will never let you down. Because what are we dealing with here? We are dealing with primordial energies. And we are dealing with wisdom that is coming from the solar plexus chakra. And when your solar plexus chakra is spinning in the right way, it will collect information, because remember, we are energy beings. It collects information that your beautiful brain up here can't actually sort out. So trust your gut. Am I making sense? Yes. Trust your gut. So feminine principles, it's like a mother. Okay, I have never given birth. I have assisted birth as a midwife, but I've never given birth. But I, as a health visitor, working with mothers, I have learned such a lot. A mother could be 5 miles away, 10 kilometers, wherever, and a mother knows when her child needs her. A mother doesn't have to be in the same room. A mother knows when her child needs her. Her intuition never fails. Intuition. Use your intuition to guide you. Of course, seek additional data when you need to. But I promise you that when you are open and centered, and your energy system, your energy body is open and working in a very harmonious way, it doesn't let you down. And you know what is so beautiful about being in India? Because this is right at the home of, understanding about energy. India has given so much to this biosphere. So go back. Go back to the Vedic practices. And take the ancient wisdom. Because the ancient wisdom will never die. We have theories that come and go, but ancient wisdom have actually stood the test of time. So, intuition is very important. Receptivity. Receptivity, and you notice what all the points that I'm dealing with, they are points of emotional intelligence. Receptiveness and leadership. Receptivity enables both you to make personal as well as global changes. It means that your antenna is open. You are aware. You are collecting the information. You are sensitive. It's about the readiness to accommodate new knowledge and to say, okay, based on the knowledge that I have at the moment, this is the position that I will now take. As a chairman, the way I used receptivity was really by using the thinking environment process of the Thinking Council. When we had a big challenge, I would get all the directors around the table and I would put it, this is the challenge. Does everyone understand this to be a challenge? So we get agreement on that. And then I would go around the table and say, based on your best thinking, what is your best thinking around how we could solve this problem? And it gets written down, and I'm logging it as well. And this is how I break down the egocentricity, because everybody's going to get their turn. So the next person, what is your best thinking? What is your best thinking? I get a collection of everybody's best thinking. And then I said, based on what I have now heard, how does the problem appear to me? It appears that it's this. How does the problem now appear to you? And I go around the table again, and I get people thinking about how the problem appears to them. And, you know, we are all shifting, because as we gather more information, and I may do 3 or 4 rounds of that, and then we get to the point where we say, okay, now we have had more information, it would appear that, based on where we are now, it appears that this is the way that may best serve us. What are your final thoughts? And again, I get people's final thoughts. So when we walk out of that boardroom, we are walking out in harmony, and we are walking out with a common agreement. It takes time. But you know, the quality of the thinking that you put into any issue will give you the quality of the decision you make. The quality of the decision is always dependent upon the quality of the thinking. If you don't put good thinking in the situation, you're going to get very poor outcomes. If you don't put good thinking into the issue, you are going to get very poor outcomes. So receptivity is about, irrespective of how uncomfortable things may seem, based on the new knowledge that you have, the new information, never be afraid to shift the position if you actually need to shift the position. So receptiveness is about new ideas, new ways of seeing things, and thinking about the world in a different way. So resilience and leadership. Now, I have Nelson Mandela's photograph there, because I just feel that, you know, and I could have had Gandhi there as well. Let me take Gandhi, because I think Nelson Mandela learned such a lot from Gandhi. You know, Gandhi actually sat and meditated and changed the direction of the history for India. Sometimes we think it's those who shout loudest. Gandhi never shouted. He stayed in silence. And he set the intention. And he used the Vedic practices. Because he puts the energy out there. You see, when you put your energy out in the right way, it is felt in the world. We're all connected. When you put the right energy out, it is felt in the world. So, resilience is about recognizing that, of course, things will get tough from time to time. But as I was sharing yesterday, like the branch of a tree in the wind that gets blown and blown and blown, you know, over time it gets stronger. In the same way, when you do your yoga practices and you stretch and you move, over time you are strengthening not just your physical body, but you're strengthening your energetic body and you are strengthening your spiritual bodies. So, you know, resilience is about that ability to feel the pressure and staying calm. It's about that ability to go through the storm and come out at the other end even stronger. So resilience is very important. Resilience is important for recognizing that life may not get necessarily easier. Forgiveness may not always flow. However, you become stronger. And the next thing I want to take you into is dignity of spirit. Why dignity of spirit? For me, this is also about integrity. And without integrity, nothing works. I say that again. Without integrity, nothing works. So, dignity of spirit comes in because we find ourselves in an even more competitive environment. And it is going to get even more competitive. Can I just check that the other speaker is in the room? Is the other speaker in the room? Okay, so I can take my time. Okay, right, because there are two of us who are scheduled here for this session. So, coming back to integrity. For me, as I said, without integrity, nothing works. And integrity is about being true to your word. And if you're not able to keep your word, then have the courage to say that you're not going to be able to keep your word and renegotiate. So, do what you say and say what you do. In other words, we in leadership, we also say, walk the talk. Walk the talk. Because people can see through us. When we say one thing and we do another, people lose faith. And as a leader, if you're leading in an organization and your staff, your colleagues have lost faith in you, then you're heading for problems. In the same way, when you say you're going to do something, or you're going to be in a particular way, and then you don't keep your commitment to yourself, there is a part of your brain that says, oh, she didn't mean it anyway. So next time, when you make that commitment, your subconscious processes don't believe you, and it doesn't support you. So when you don't keep your commitment to yourself, you're sabotaging yourself, because you're setting up unconscious processes not to support you. So integrity is very important. Integrity is important for many ways. So able to move away from the egocentric perspective and be more collaborative and listening well to people. You see, I believe that the greatest attention you can give to another person, or the greatest respect you can give to another person, is to listen to that person well. Even when you're on the phone and the person is in another country, another room, or somewhere else, you know when you are not being listened to. You feel it. You feel when the energy shifts. You feel when there's a distraction. So, how often you find yourself in communication, and in that communication, you know you're not being listened to because the eyes are somewhere else. The body language tells you that you're not being listened to. We know. We know in our tone. We know in our voice. We know through our body language. And as I said, we know outside of all that, because you don't need to be in the room. You can be on the phone and you know when you're not being listened to. The greatest respect you and I can give another person is to listen well. If you're not able to, and let's face it, there are times it is not convenient for us to listen. Say it. Say, I want to listen to you. Is it possible if we schedule a time where I can give you my undivided attention? And another person respects that. And so that is why when you pick up the phone and you talk to someone else, it's courtesy to ask them, is it convenient? Exactly. It's good protocol, isn't it? Is it convenient? So, dignity of spirit. And then I come on to empathy. You see, the emotionally intelligent leader will always understand how another person is thinking and feeling. Take it back into the feminine principle. The empathetic nature that we are able to take. You know, it doesn't mean feminine principle. This is not about gender balance. You know, men also have the feminine within them. We have both the masculine and the feminine. So, with empathy, empathy is just so important because it's about understanding how another may be thinking and feeling. And to be able to enter into that zone so that you can connect. Because empathy here, the purpose of empathy here is about true connection. And when we are truly connected, we get better outcomes. When we are truly connected. And you know, I will even go further to say, until you learn how to connect with yourself, until you learn how to connect with yourself, then you learn much better how to connect with others. You don't have strong connections with others unless you have strong connection with yourself. It's the inner and the outer. As within, so without. If you're disconnected, about true connection. And when we are truly connected, we get better outcomes. When we are truly connected. And you know, I will even go further to say, until you learn how to connect with yourself, until you learn how to connect with yourself, then you learn connection with yourself. It's the inner and the outer.
I get very confused. So do you feel the energetic fields of the other person? Let's say a client comes into a room. Yes, I do. I'm very sensitive. I'm very sensitive. I wonder if I know I like the person I can do. But do you think that the person is right saying that?
Change over.
Principles. Men can also be very sensitive and empathy. So the percentages swings more towards men because I think men are more practical. This is the historical development of men, gender theories. You say that men are intellectual, women are intuitive. And the middle of the 20th century, Druee, feminist theories, this is supposed to be this and that. But of course, if women did not study till the end of the 19th century in the universities, women is that we have our physical body extended. This was the combination of Jesus. You or me, we me. So I speak about personality. He was strong as personality, but your physical beauty adds to it. So also men can be very strong and have beautiful graces. I contradict ladies or teachers who say that this is of course we can be first. This is our biological difference. But spiritually, we are always discovered. You're right, because when my team members are not making things out to the main client, they request me to and then there is a female teacher who comes to me.
Okay, let's.
And she responds to me.
Let's have some sharing because we have all the other speakers, so we can have we can use this in the time in a much deeper way. What did you come up with in your sharing? I don't think this is working, so I probably should just.
I think let's from there because I joined the later part and she also.
Okay, so the question was, I'm not going to let you get off with it though. The question was, where could you have more empathy for yourself? Where in life, what situation, what circumstances could you have more empathy for yourself? And the reason why I asked this question from a leadership perspective, that, you know, and especially when you're high achieving as well, we can be so hard on ourselves.
We have come up with the same thing. We have come up with the same thing. So I'm expecting a lot of things from myself rather than dedicating, you know. So hard on ourselves rather than sometimes allowing to let go.
Yes, and it's letting go.
Yeah.
And it's in that receptivity and in that surrender, in the same way that it's around delegation as well. But coming back to the core within oneself. Learn to be not so hard on yourself. And also recognize that wherever you are, it's okay. You know, you're not here to be fixed. However, development is an ongoing process. And what we need to do is to continually personally develop so that we can be more forgiving of ourselves, be more open to our strengths, and the areas that are not our strengths, you know, to just let it go and let someone else take over in that area. Celebrate who you are.
Wow.
Celebrate who you are.
Here we go. I want to thank you because you are a great teacher and orator. I am fascinated by you. But please, I would like to contradict you.
Please,
because
don't.
I think
Yes.
that men are also spiritually and intellectually very creative. And
Yes.
not all women can give birth to children.
True.
Because they are not married, or the reproductive system is a bit...
Yeah, we agree.
Yes,
We agree.
so what I want to say, that all these good principles which you had presented to us are characteristic of men and of women.
I agree, because
Thank you.
feminine, and let me say it again, just in case I didn't say it loud enough. Feminine is not about gender.
Yes.
It's femininity is not about gender,
So
because
it's
we
not.
have some males, and we have both. So, you know, like the yin and the yang, whether you're a man and woman, you have masculine principles and you have masculine qualities and feminine qualities.
But this is dogmas which had been created during centuries concerning gender differences. So let's throw these dogmas away
But I wasn't
and
talking
speak about spiritual and intellectual capacities of human beings.
I agree. I am addressing the issue as it was given to talk about the feminine principle. That was what was on the agenda, and to appreciate. And remember, I started off and saying that we often forget that we are spiritual beings within a human body. So, namaste.
Thank you so much. You are a great orator. Thank you. A great teacher.
I agree. Do have it.
I totally understand and agree and advocate your point. One, we are each of us holding both femininity and masculinity in ourselves, and there is no doubt about it. I mean, I totally see, and you did mention that quite a few times. My ears caught it because obviously I was looking out for it, but it cannot be emphasized more than that. And since, we have a mix of both Indians and obviously, you have come all the way, so have you. So, in India, most of the
Yes. Because they have held the position of power, and they can do it because there's something within them that calls them within their creativity to make that difference. So we honor that. And we celebrate it.
There was no female education. There were, wives were burned alive after the husbands passed away, and so many other things. And there were visionary leaders who gave their lives for getting those, girl children out of their home to get them into school, etc. So I don't think this is going to go in the way of a gender war anymore.
No.
So just to bridge that between whatever came up in the last question, I think we are all in unity there.
Absolutely. And you see, and the giving birth is not always about having given a child. I have not given birth. And yet I have birthed so many things. I have birthed so many innovations. I have been honored 3 times by Her Majesty the Queen for the innovations that I have brought in. And I haven't given birth to a child through me. I have given birth to a lot of ideas that have had significant changes. So your creativity, male, gender now, male and female, our creativity is coming from the feminine. It's the giving of the birth, the birthing. Creativity is coming from the feminine within us. It's the feminine energy that holds. It's when we talk about the womb of creation, and the chalice, what holds it? It's the feminine principle. The womb of Mother Earth.
This is mythology.
Okay, I agree.
Without
I can
male
take it.
sperm, we would not give birth. It's not Maria who gives birth to Christ.
Okay. So, whichever way, just take it from a perspective that the birthing of an idea and the birthing of a project is a creative act.
Yes, I agree.
So let's leave it at that.
Yes.
And then it is dogma. Because that is fact. The birthing of an idea, the birthing of a project, the birthing of an innovation is a creative act.
I just wanted to say something.
Firstly, you come across as a very warm, all-heart person. Your energy, your vibe is very warm, and I think you're a mother, even though you've not given birth, but your energy is of high mother. Yeah, so your energy is great. Coming back to when you were saying that when you're not able to do something, or if you're failing in it, it's all right to let go. I agree partly in it, but through my experience, where I've repeatedly failed or something that has not worked for me, for example, and that could be anything. It could be a project, it could be relationships, it could be anything. I have actually, and I feel that worked for me, I've actually stepped back and I said, what is it about me that I need to change? Why is it something that's coming to me as a pattern? And it could be probably as a pattern you're taking up something in a project and you're not succeeding at it. And I believe in the principle of being one with your environment, oneness of self and environment. So if your environment is telling you that this is not working for you, then you need to know or sit back and take time. It could take a couple of days, weeks, whatever, and say, let me reach that space where I need to identify what is it about me that I need to change in order to success in this aspect, instead of letting go, because you will carry on failing, I feel.
Yes. And the letting go is about being hard on yourself and to go into that spiritual space to get the information about what is it that needs to be adjusted. Because when the change comes within, when the adjustment comes within, you are going to make that change.
Yeah.
In the same way that there are times when life will present us with certain patterns, and until we learn to solve them, we will go and recreate it somewhere else. So I so agree with you. Absolutely. Please, come and take the mic.
I'd actually like to respond to what you just said, because it made me think. Because how you stress it, it's oftentimes not just like letting go and I'm okay, but it's also about how you change yourself. But what I liked about the question that was posed, and I had to change it because I had obviously a prerequisite of how I think. I first put down the question as where in my life could I be more forgiving to myself? But the question was show or have more empathy for me. And forgiving would mean, okay, I let that go, and I'm okay with that. Empathy can help both ways. I can let go,
and accept me as that's one part of it. But also I can have empathy and still go and change that.
Yeah.
At least that's how because you posed that question, I was able to understand that one in this direction. So thank you for that.
Oh,
yeah.
You see, when we come together, we have everything.
Yes.
Where? Want to comment? Any further comment?
Just to thank you.
No, if not, don't go yet unless we've run out of time. I want to give you a few minutes as a meditation, if I may. Would you like that?
Yeah,
or I'm in the hands of my moderator.
No,
When she tells me to stop, I will stop.
I just wanted to add to it that I am so thankful to all of you, because when she posed the question, I was wondering how can one be empathetic towards myself? How can I? Because all this while I've spent my life in the social sector and I've been empathetic towards the other people, poor and all those things. Wondering how can one be? Then all of you, when you spoke, I could understand, yeah, you can be empathetic towards yourself. That's how I could understand it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that is a breakthrough, because most of the time as a woman we always think about others. Most of the time as a woman, we as a women, we think about others. We are so hard upon ourselves. When you ask that question, both of us looking at each other, we said it's a time we should have empathy on ourselves. Yes. It's a beautiful question, and I will definitely remember lifelong.
Okay. And I'm going to bring some changes into your
please
neural
do.
pathway around empathy.
Yes.
And okay, so
You want us to switch the lights a little?
you can dim it a little, but it doesn't matter. You can keep. We can keep
Main
as
वाली
it
lights
is.
बंद कर दो. छोटी
So
वाली रहने
what I'd like you to uncross your legs.
यहाँ से होएगी, वहाँ से होएगी.
I'd like you to uncross your legs and if necessary, kick off your shoes if your shoes are making if your shoes. I'll kick mine off just in case. Not that they are. Leather doesn't always allow us. Oh, it has gone. Leather doesn't always allow us to have that perfect connection. So I'd like you to breathe in deeply through your nostrils and just breathe out. Again, nice deep breath in and breathe out. Another one, nice deep breath in. Attention to your feet. And with your next breath, I'd like you to just suppose you had energetic roots growing out from the sole of your feet, going down through this building into the center of earth. So breathe in, intention and attention that energetic roots are growing from your feet down into the earth. And feel in your energetic system your roots going down into earth. And as they make connection in earth, they will make connection in different ways. Earth holds all that we need. You may make connection with the gold and the silver and the ore or the oil or the water or the crystals, but you are connected magnetically. Earth holds all the magnetic resonance that is within our body. And as you so deeply connect with the magnetic resonance within in earth and within you, send your intention now to pull from Mother Earth all the magnetic resonance that you need to be more empathetic and more forgiving for yourself. And Mother Earth knows what you need, and Mother Earth now sends this up through your energetic roots. So breathe in, inspire, and breathe out. So as you breathe in this time, imagine now that you're pulling up the energetic resonance from the earth into your body. And breathe in again, and you pull the energy from earth up through the sole of your feet and up through your shin, your calf, up through your knees, up through your thigh, into your pelvis, and right across your sexual centers, and anchored now within your root chakra. And pull that energy now from your root chakra up into your heart. And so above, so below. Breathe in. And the solar system is now sending energy down through the top of your head, through your crown chakra, into your heart. It's sending magnetic resonance into your heart to support you to love yourself even more and to be more forgiving and more empathetic of yourself. Breathe in and pull this energy down from the solar system into your heart. And with your next breath, imagine and just suppose that the energetic system that you've pulled up from below and the energetic system that you've pulled down from above into your heart, mix these up, see them churning in your heart, and breathe with your next breath. As you breathe out, just suppose you're breathing out through the center of your heart back into the quantum universe. So breathe in again, and you breathe out into the quantum universe, and you set your intention and your attention to be more forgiving of yourself and more empathetic of yourself. And breathe in again, and with your next breath, imagine now that a ball of light has come from the earth, and it has passes up through you, and it goes out through the top of your head. And as it goes out through the top of your head, with your closed eyelids, you turn your eyeballs up and look as far back and up as possible. You're making connection with the pineal gland. Your pineal gland supports you to have connection with above. And you follow this light, and this light goes out faster and wider, faster and wider, faster and wider. And it passes all the planetary systems, and it goes out through the Milky Way, and it rushes out into dark matter, where everything exists, and it rushes out into the clear luminescence of light. And in the clear luminescence of light is the creation of all that is, the creator of all that is. And here you co-create with your creator. And now I'd like you to silently say, after you're breathing, with your eyeballs turned up, looking out into that light, I'd like you to silently say, I don't know how I understand the Creator's perspective of empathy. I only know now I understand the Creator's perspective of empathy, and I am fulfilled. I don't know how I allow myself to be more empathetic to myself. I only know now I allow myself to be more empathetic to myself, and I am fulfilled. I don't know how I allow myself to be more empathetic. I only know now I allow myself to be more empathetic and more forgiving of myself, and I am fulfilled. I don't know how I understand the Creator's perspective of love. I only know now I understand the Creator's perspective of love, and I am fulfilled. I don't know how I allow myself to be loved. I only know now I allow myself to be loved, and I am fulfilled. I don't know how it is possible for me to be loved, for me to be empathetic and forgiving of myself. I only know now it is possible for me to be loved, for me to be empathetic, and for me to be forgiving of myself. I don't know how the world loves me. I only know now that the world loves me, the world is empathetic and forgiving of me, and I am empathetic and forgiving of me, and the Creator is empathetic and forgiving of me, and I am fulfilled. And allow those commands to expand and expand and expand into something even greater than we have commanded. Feel your connection in the quantum universe. See what comes in through your mind's eye. Hear what comes in through your inner hearing. Feel the feeling in your body of you being loved. You having unconditional love for yourself. The world loves you. Your Creator loves you. You are forgiving of yourself. You are empathetic of yourself. The world is empathetic of you. Your Creator is empathetic of you. And I be silent for a moment and let creation speak through you. Relax your eyes, keep your focus and bring your eyeballs down now. Just relax your eyes. And now I'd like you to bring that energy back into your body. That energy of divine love into your body. That energy of you being empathetic and forgiving of yourself, and the world being empathetic and forgiving of yourself into your body. And now I'd like you to unwind all the ways in which you have not been empathetic and forgiving and loving of yourself. Unwind that. Let it go out of your DNA. Let it go out of all direction of time and in all generation of time. Let it go out of the generational DNA. All the ways in which your parents, grandparents, and ancestors have not been forgiving and empathetic of themselves. Let it go. Let it go out of your social DNA. Let it go out of your social system. All the ways in which the social systems have not been empathetic and forgiving of you. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go out of your DNA. Let it go out of all direction of time and in all generation of time. Let it go out of your soul. Feel compassion in your soul. Feel within your soul the love that you have for yourself. And now rewind into your DNA. Rewind love. Rewind empathy. Rewind compassion. And rewind forgiveness. Rewind that into your DNA. Rewind it into all generation of time. Rewind it into all direction of time. And rewind it into your soul. And now I will keep quiet for a while and just let you integrate that knowledge of the Creator's love and forgiveness and empathy and compassion for you, and you feeling your love for yourself, your empathy for yourself, your compassion for yourself, and you sending it into your generational DNA, you sending that into all direction of time and in all dimensions of time. Shanti, Namaste. May not be words. I send you my love. You may connect with me through LinkedIn. And if you check my name out on Facebook, I have several Facebook accounts. But I am Neslyn Druee, and you can also email me. I will always respond to your emails. And it's Neslyn@neslyn.com. So email Neslyn@neslyn.com. My delight, my pleasure, and my honor to be here with you today.
Thank you so much.
Guru?
After this, I just don't have to say anything because it's an experience, you all had it. And we can just come for a group photograph so that we remember this day.
Excuse me. Smile.
Smart. Yeah. Wait.
Wait. Wait.
I can never
But if
It was a great experience.
Oh, and if you'd like to give me a video recommendation about this experience, you can just send it to me. So, appreciative thanks.
And I can't tell you how long. I had spent 20 years on Wall Street in a very frenetic environment.
Possibly, I don't know what I did with those lists because then it manifested, so I don't care about the list anymore.
I know. I was thinking about it last night, and the other woman I met, she had a list, and this just happens to be the coincidence of making the list and having
But
the
he
conversation.
had a list too.
And that's
We both had a list.
Yeah.
We didn't know each other. Well, we did. He had bought my book about love when I went to present it in the town he lived. But we only really got together 3 years later.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny that you should say that, because that's another one of the things that when I say this to people, they're shocked. And I remember the first time I said it to someone, my children were asked to, so I'm a philanthropist. I support an organization, a grief organization for children. And when my children no longer needed to be part of this grief organization, I said, we're going to volunteer for them. So what you're going to do is you're going to get up in front of a room full of people and you're going to talk about what this organization, Good Grief, means to you. Because people have to give money to this organization, and you were so grateful, and we need to pay it forward. So my kids get up and they talk about their father's death and what this organization, Good Grief, meant to them. Afterwards, a woman came up to me and she said, your children are lovely, which is always good as a mother. You really want to know that your kids are lovely, that they're not ghastly beasts and not offending people. And I really enjoyed that. And she said, they're so well adjusted to their father's death. And I said to her, their life is actually better because their father died. So think about that for a moment. My husband's death made my life better and made my children's life better. Because the reality is that his death put me on the path I was supposed to be on. You know, was I supposed to work on Wall Street? I mean, it's the craziest place in the world, right? You know, you're constantly running, you have your back against the wall because people are trying to, stab you in the back. It is a really competitive environment. And I am supposed to be writing my story. My story hopefully will inspire you. So I don't know how we're doing on time. Are we closing in?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. So, does anybody have any questions? And Tanya and I were talking about this, or feedback for me on things that you liked, or even things that I can do differently. I know it's just the four of you, so anything. Should I wear my hair down?
I think it's quite amazing that you stayed focused with six men repairing the.
I know. I mean, she said twice to them.
That's why I always avoid sitting there because they're just so disruptive.
I mentioned the triplets, right? So my house is like a zoo to begin with. So, yeah. So,
no, but I just really enjoyed. I now realize that I heard bits of what you were saying in a different session the other day.
Yes.
I recognize you because the hair is up today. Or
yes.
Something.
Yes.
So I was like saying, I've heard this before with the triplets. There can't be two people.
How many women? If there's another one, I'd like to meet her. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, but I mean, we've all been through places of being lost, and I just love the stories that you put into that.
Yeah.
I mean, partly, of course, because you've lived through it, and that you made the best of the bad situation, and realizing now that it's even made it better.
Yeah.
That's big hello. But also, you were sharing it through the stories.
Yes.
And making sure that so it doesn't become a preaching thing.
Yeah.
Sorry to say, but because sometimes it can go, well, if you just do this, then you'll be better off.
Yeah.
Because you can't
and it
do
isn't that way.
You
It
can't,
would be
no,
so nice if it
and
was.
you can't do that with being lost. I mean, if you're lost, I just love that way of talking about it.
Thank
because
you.
you could talk about it as being in grief, or you could talk about it as being in a crisis, or you could talk about it in so many ways. But really, the feeling that we all know, we might know the grief feeling also,
absolutely.
but the lost feeling is something that you can, when you're lost, you can also find a way.
Yes.
Grief doesn't necessarily, to me at least, the word doesn't say there is a way, because grief will be with you.
Yes.
I mean, if you lose someone you love, it'll be with you. You just have to learn to live with the grief.
Yes.
Whereas being lost is, if you're lost in the woods, you'll certainly, at some point, you'll probably find a way out.
Yes.
If you're lost in yourself, you'll also most certainly find it. So I just love that.
Well, and it's funny because I was saying to Tanya as we were walking in, again, 7:15, I'm not even sure what day it is. I was like, well, I just be Tanya and I said to her, I feel very lost. So an hour ago, I felt so adrift. And lost grief is a funny thing. It's not necessarily the loss of a spouse. It could be a divorce. It could be, a couple of weeks ago, last year, was watching a Halloween parade with small children, and I realized that I'm never going to see my kids dressed up as Batman again. They're never going to be that. And it made me sad, Grief is loss of a job, loss of money, it's so many different things, but the great part, and I will speak to Tanya just because I think that this is a very clear example, is 1 hour ago I felt lost. This is a woman who lives an ocean away. We met just via email because we're on the same panel, so she reached out to me. We met for the first time yesterday. You hear a lot about soul sisters. Absolutely. We've been hugging, and it's, I'm Italian, I hug, but and we're Portuguese, so it works for us. But then I was able to say to her, I feel lost. And to be able to say something so intimate to somebody and have her say, we're going to breathe. And we did. And I feel better. And I came in here and I met you amazing ladies. So that's the joy. That's the art of being lost, is the joy you find along the way. So in an effort, I was looking at my band.
But can I ask you,
Certainly.
You have your blog and you're writing your book, but how do you, what is Trinity Consulting Group?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
That's a great question. So Trinity Consulting Group, I do capital introduction for hedge funds. So are we familiar with hedge funds? Okay. It's an alternate investment strategy. So you can invest in the stock market, you can put money in a savings account, you can IRA. Hedge funds tend to be, we call them alternative, because they're more risky. However, with risk, sometimes comes vast reward. Sometimes comes vast loss. So what my old job was going to wealthy people and saying, I have this individual who has this strategy on how to make money, and you should invest with them. And it was a great job, especially for someone like me I was told in high school that I couldn't go to college because I wasn't smart enough. The guidance counselor said, don't even bother, you're just not smart enough. So I didn't go. I didn't go to college. So it was pretty amazing that I was able to sort of, pull myself up, and it was a great job. And I was really lucky because I made a lot of money. And the great thing about making a lot of money at the time, it was funny because it didn't make me any happier. I always thought when I made $100,000 I'd be happy. And when I made it, I realized I didn't have time to spend it. And the more money I made, the less time I had to spend it. The good news is I put it in the bank. And so I put it in the bank, so when my husband died, I could say, I'm not going back to Wall Street. I'm going to stay home and I'm going to be a mother. And I have to tell you, I miss my home right now. This is the first time in probably the 30 years I've been traveling on business that I have felt homesick. But I miss being home. I miss walking the dog. I miss cooking dinner. I miss my home. I have my daughter with me. But, you think your path is one thing, to be this corporate reader, right, and do such things. And my reality absolutely wasn't that. Being 50, I was born in the 60s, raised by a mother that was, I am woman, hear me roar, right? So I went out and got a great job. My personal opinion is that, to a certain extent, I was sold a bill of goods, right? Because the reality was I just wanted to stay home and be a mother. But had I just had children when I was 18, I wouldn't have seen the world. I have been everywhere. I have been everywhere on somebody else's dime, except for this trip. But I've been everywhere. I've met amazing people. I've eaten amazing food. I can meet people that are culturally different than me, religiously different than me, and I absolutely roll with the punches. Nothing affects me, because I've met them. I'm not afraid of anything. It doesn't matter. We're all different. We're all the same. So it was absolutely a blessing. All right. Ladies, you gotta be hungry.
Any more questions? No?
All right. Thank you so much. I am incredibly grateful.
Thank you, Jeanette, for a lovely session at this hour of the night. And this is Gulpreet signing off for today from WEF.
Thank you. All right. I can breathe.
That was fantastic.
Thank you.
That was wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for recording it.
Losing yourself to find it.
And let's be honest, I'll lose myself a couple more times. I'll lose myself a few more times before I find my room tonight.
I was calling
yes.
him. He's not there. Let him stop.
Yeah, the special photo.
The special final photo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you mind taking,
Yours
do you know how to use
and
my, I was just going to say, do you know how to use my phone?
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you on that background?
Yeah.
Would be nice.
Ladies, will you come up? Would you mind coming up for a photo? So people believe that there were other people. Seriously, other people came. I wouldn't lie.
But you did great.
Thank you.
Yeah. We should have had a photo with the 6 men in all.
We have to
Yeah.
click.
Yeah.
Janet, you have to click anywhere?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
I love my camera in a minute. Is it? Are you clicking the red button?
Just a moment.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody's height is. Just see. I'm free to go.
Oh, sorry.
They're fine. Just.
Oh, you know what? It's a video.
Oh.
And it's probably a video. Yeah.
I think there's no snap coming up.
All right, let's see. Here we go. And it's very funny because my daughter recorded my session the other day. I did one.
Now you've got the video.
Yeah. She recorded, it was 15 minutes, and she got the last 43 seconds.
Oh,
yeah.
Now you've got
Yeah.
the full one.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
Nice.
you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just wait. I'll do it.
Great.
Yeah. Okay, so it's going to go now because, I'm sorry, I stepped on your foot.
No, thank you.
It's funny because I changed my shoes. I had high heels on all day yesterday and today, and I said, no, today we're going to be going to low shoes. Ooh.
Different angle.
No, this was coming in.
Oh.
It might not be coming clear.
Thank you.
Thank
It was
you.
a pleasure meeting you. Good luck. Thank you. It was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
There was a session the other day about using stilettos to show your power, and I didn't
I
go.
also missed it.
It makes my feet hurt like hell, and I said, bugger the power.
I was talking to the lady offline. No, I was not in the session. I had a volunteer duty, but I met her over evening tea or somewhere. And she said that, and she sat and talked with me, spoke to me. She said, "There's a technique." I said, "But the technique will put the pressure. No, it will not put the pressure. It's not that. Yeah, you don't have to wear it whole day." I said, Then I said, what technique then? If I have to wear for 2 hours, I can otherwise also wear it.
You still have to learn how to walk.
Walking in them is not exactly the problem. It's staying in them more than 5 minutes.
Yeah. So that's why I said,
And of course, walking slowly because you.
Finally, it's going to affect your tendons, it's going to affect your muscles, it's going to affect your carpals. I said, that's
Oh
in my workshop. I said, you don't have to explain it out. It explains.
I live in Kenya, and I mean the ladies in mean, as ladies in general, very well dressed.
खत्म हम भेज रहा हूँ
And I just sometimes listen, and exactly what you say, keeping the balance sometimes is really a problem. And they've got a little bit too high, and you just see these like ladies.
But she was wearing a 6-inch. She was wearing a 6 or 7-inch, I think.
No, some
photo
definitely do it.
Yes, group photo, come. For the
I want to hear more about that.
No, thank you.
Yes, come, all of you come.
Oh, now it's the official.
This is the main.
Now it's the real thing.
Oh, it's the wild ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smile.
He always says this. Tell me, where are these photos going to?
On the site he's saying, website or whatever.
But are they going there every day or only at the end?
अभी जाते रात डेली की डेली जाती है या
Well, I'm from Denmark. Yes.
The room number 6 he gives everything, so he says I do not know whether they must be having
So then they put it online or whatever. Pardon?
Don't openly tell it because everyone will be crowded.
Yeah. No, possibly they put them online every day or something. We have to go and have a look. Yeah. No, that's the point. Now we're too busy to go searching for those things. Yes.
What do you do that?
I have my coaching project called In Passion Coaching, and the point is to inspire passion.
Okay.
Who do I coach? I coach people to come back home and to just stay in that knowingness that they are all that they're supposed to be. So, and they're from there finding the passion from deep within, not from mindsets that you have to be successful. It's coming out. It's actually the opposite. And I also teach English. It's the other way around. This is the passion, and I write. I've also got several books. In action, it's love. It's coming into love and releasing the doing.
Ooh, you don't ever really want to be the person who's speaking at dinner time.
To move all the time, I have to do more, I have to win, I have to this, I have to that. From a different point.
Achiever's point of view.
Yes, it's
when you are happy with yourself is also an achievement.
That's the point, yeah. That's exactly the point. Is finding out